In this video, I'm going to talk about the benefits of the chat. Now, what do I mean by the chat? Well, I'm specifically talking about when we have a directed session. You're dealing with a director or a producer who's giving live feedback in some way. And obviously, we want to be as much kind of focused on giving value during the recording session as possible. And many people therefore go like, okay, let me do a first take. And it is incredibly useful just to speed up the process so that you have that first take or that first read of a paragraph, so that you have so that the client has an opportunity to actually respond to something rather than being in a vacuum. I think that can be a very important first step that a lot of people kind of brush aside. However, I would say it is important to talk about the brief and to check in with the person for a number of reasons. But the most essential thing is that really down to communication. In that kind of pre-chat, that first 5 minutes of, people, getting on the line and can you hear me and can you hear me at good quality and can you mute me whilst I'm recording and all of this kind of thing. The really important thing about that chat is that you get an understanding of how the client perceives the script to be. So you're asking them questions like, who am I talking to? Why am I talking to them? And what is the result that I want to get out of them emotionally? What kind of decision? What's the call to action in whatever way, shape or form? What emotion am I looking to evoke or elicit from the listener? And therefore, what emotional state could I be in? And as soon as you've kind of got that information, you'll also be able to gauge by how they communicate it, how they take on, how they're likely to provide any subsequent direction to you. So, as an example, if you find that a client mainly communicates in terms of externals, i.e., I think it needs to be really fast and dynamic, or it really needs to be slow and thoughtful, then that's very different in terms of a conversation, as opposed to someone who deals completely in terms of emotional states. Now, you, in terms of your self-awareness as a voiceover actor, performer, need to have an awareness of what you respond to most. Is it an emotional or an internal stimulus? Thinking of the inside state and objectives and all of that kind of stuff going out? Or is it do you work more from the outside in? So maybe it's to do with the physicality, the body language that you're using. Is it to do with the speed? Is it to do with pitch? Which do you most respond to? Now, everyone is on a spectrum with this. Like I certainly am in terms of sometimes I will, depending on the script as well, I will be more affected by the emotional adjustments that we're making, or by the, what's my objective, the internal thing that I'm trying to change in an audience. Whereas with other things, it'll be much more technical in terms of maybe I don't really understand absolutely everything that I'm saying, but I know that I need to hit a certain pitch or a tone to keep it light or to keep it enjoyable, that kind of thing. In that first kind of 5-minute kind of chat, it's finding a way so that you can give the client, the person who's giving you direction, a bit of room to express their own opinion, so that you know where they're coming from, because they're going to be doing a lot of listening ultimately. You know where they're coming from, but also you can start to make subtle adjustments about where they're probably going to take the session as a result. So sometimes I've gone like, okay, they're talking in terms of language that is a bit abstract towards me. Then I can subtly make then I know that I need to kind of have a bit more time to decipher what they're doing, what they're trying to get to. If they're saying this read needs to be more red or it needs to be more blue, then I'm able to then kind of subtly shift the filter in my mind and be able to approach the session in a slightly different way. So that's what I mean in terms of the value of that chat. Don't skip over it straight into a first take, as much as you want to give value and as much as you want to start to get opinions from it. But it's it's also partly about, it being a communication and a two-way kind of process. So having that space to kind of digest what direction is that you're likely to get first and foremost, that has real extra value. So don't discount it. I hope this video has been of some interest to you. If so, please do like, subscribe, comment on your own experiences with live directed sessions, because I'm always interested to see how people cope with them. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time.